Hello everybody, a very warm welcome back to MEC-TEC. We're back on the old cab. Today is needing some more attention. It is on 182,500 miles now, and the original shock absorbers have seen better days. It is very crashy now as far as going over bumps, and also I got told on the last MOT about 3 months ago that the bottom bushes on the front shock absorbers have absolutely had it, which is what my little clonky noise is. So I'm hoping it's going to fix that when we sort this out. So I've got a brand new set of genuine LTI LEVC shock absorbers for it, about 200 quid's off, and we need to get those fitted today. So we'll start at the back. One side is going to be big lorry, one side is going to be fairly straightforward. The other side I'm going to have to get the angle grinder out because I had to actually weld it on quite a while ago because the bottom nut that holds the bottom of the shock absorber in, the thread was no good, so I obviously had to do the nut up as best I could and then weld it so that it wouldn't come undone again. So we're gonna have to cut that one off, but I'll get the back jacked up in the air and then I'll come back to you and show you exactly what we need to do. It is a fairly easy job with any luck, but I've said that before and you know how that goes when I say things like that, so let's keep our fingers crossed. We've got a nut and bolt top and bottom, which I think is a 16mm on one side and a 17mm on the other. So make of that what you will. I assume the bolt is obviously a bit corroded or whatever, and it's worn away slightly maybe, but I'm just trying to crack this loose. One nut and bolt at the very top of the shock absorber like this, and then one nut at the bottom, which I'll show you in a second. It moved at least, that's good. I've not got a lot of movement on this. There we go. Right, now will the impact gun do it now? Apologies for the loud noise in a second. Let's see if it does it. There we go. And it should come out of there like that. Right, that's the top undone. Bottom is this one here. Another 17mm, as I say. And hopefully that will just come undone with any luck. Like that. That was far too easy. Something going right funny here. Why is it going that easy? Right, we've got a bush and a little metal washer there that I've got to get off. Should have bought a flat-headed screwdriver over here with me, but I haven't got one with me. See if we can get it with a spanner. There it goes. Right, that comes off of there like that. And then we should be able to compress the shock. It should just come out. There we go. Just like that. You can see they're pretty rusty on the bottom. This is the side with the good thread still. Curious to know where this was made, because the one that I bought, which was a genuine one, sorry you're not looking are you? Pay attention. There we go. It's quite rusty. The one that I bought says made in Turkey on it. So I wonder where this one's from. And the one I bought was a genuine one. This doesn't say anything on it. So no idea, to be honest with you. Say it in the metal. Nope. Same part number though, 7000201. If you look at the box of the new one, 7000201. So at least you know it's the right one. I'll show you the new one, side by side. Here's the new one. Nice and shiny. Comes with a new nut on the bottom, which is good. Use the old nut and bolt on the top. I'm just going to have a look at the bush on this to see what the bush is like on it. It's got a bit of, can you see that? bit of play in the top bush, so it probably would have caused a little bit of a rattle maybe. The front has been rattling more, but the back, because the other side I had to weld it ages ago, thought I'd best get all four. Sorry about this. I'm not luck with this camera mount today. So yeah, there we go. There's the bottom spring, bottom shock perch there. The top one obviously up here. Just slot the new one back in. I'm going to give that a little bit of a clean out first of all down there to make sure there's no grit and muck in there. Put it in, and it's a reverse procedure of what I've just done. Really, really simple actually. Top banana. Right, there we go. That is the new shock absorber in. Very, very simple. Nut and bolt done up at the top, and the new nut done up on the bottom, as you can see there, with all the washer and bushes and everything else, and that is fitted. It is as simple as that. So let's get around the other side now. Do that side. It's going to be slightly more involved because I've got to cut the bottom off. So let's get the angle grinder out and do some carnage. Right, around the other side you can see the bushing for the bump stop is absolutely mullered on this side, and that one I don't think is that old, so definitely going to have to change that. Obviously same nut and bolt at the bottom, at the top rather. Underneath, as you can see here, let me get under and I'll put a light there for you. This is the bit that I had to effectively bodge up last time, because no matter how tight I did it, it still rattled. You can see the lump of weld on the side of that stud there. So basically I'm just going to cut the bottom of that stud off, which will then allow me to undo the nut as normal, because obviously there's no weld underneath the nut. I just need to get the weld off of the thread that's there, if that makes sense. So I want to get that cut off, then it'll be the same procedure as the other side, and then we can move on to the front. Right, there we go. That is the second rear shock in and done. Very, very easy and simple, no problems. It's all bolted in nice. I've checked the bottom nuts to make sure they're tight as well after I did the impact gun on them, and they are not going any tighter than that. I can't get them any tighter, so that's good. So that is both rears done. Now while I'm at the back, I'm going to go over all the nuts and bolts on these rear trailing arms. Now I've got poly bushes fitted to this, and the one gripe I've got with the poly bushes is that these nuts and bolts do tend to work their way a little bit loose over time. Don't know why, and then you end up with a little rattle. Now I didn't check them that long ago, so I don't think they're going to be loose again at the moment, but I just want to make sure that they are still all tight, and while I've got it up in the air, and I've got it on axle stands on the axle, so we are at ride height. Not that these really, well, the front bolt on these at the very front there pivots, but these back ones stay static with the axle to a point anyway. But obviously with it in at ride height on the axle stands on the axle, I can tighten them up and know that they're not going to be under tension when they shouldn't be. Obviously if you did that with it jacked up in the air and it wasn't on the weight of the suspension, you'd be tightening them up and they'd be tightened up in the drooped position, if you like, and then obviously when you lower it down again, they'd be under tension how they shouldn't be, if that makes sense. So if you ever do bushes like that have got a turning force on them, make sure that the suspension is in the correct sort of ride height position as such before you tighten them up or anything, because otherwise you'll knacker the bushes early. So I'm just going to go around and check them. I won't bother filming it, it's pretty boring. It's just me checking 3 bolts either side and make sure they're tight, and then we'll carry on and get to the front shocks. Right, you join me from underneath the front wheel arch, and as you can see there are 2 nuts on the top of the front shock absorber that lock against one another, so I'm going to have to undo those 2. They are both 17mm, and then going down to the bottom you can see there on the bottom there that there are actually 2, one there, 13mm nuts that hold that into the lower arm. So what I'm going to do, I've got it on an actual stand on the subframe. I'm going to get the jack underneath this bottom of this lower arm. I don't think it's going to go twang because it's got a top and a bottom control arm, so it's quite a easy sort of setup to work with. But I'm going to put this under and just so it's got a little bit of support so it can't go anywhere, and then I'm going to undo those top 2 nuts and see how we get on. I don't know how tight they're going to be. As I say, these are original shocks, so they've done pretty well really, considering what they have to put up with. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do this at the moment. I may have to go and get I've got a ratchet spanner and a normal spanner here, but it may be easier. In fact, it probably will be easier. I'm going to go and get a 17mm swan neck spanner, because then that will reach down inside and it'll stay out of my... Actually, I might not need to do that. Let's try it with a normal one. Let's see what it goes on like. I might have to get a wire brush in here to clean it up a bit. Just so happens I've got one on hand. I figured I'd need one. It is a bit crusty under here, as you can probably imagine. Can't get to it very well because this wire's in the way. There we go. Right. See if a spanner goes on there a bit easier now. It still may be a bit easier with a swan neck, but we'll see. Yeah, see, I can't get very low on that. I might have to use the open-ended bit on that bottom one, which is not ideal. Let's try it and see if it undoes. Oh, it's going. Oh, I didn't expect that. Look at that. Wow. Right, before I go any further, I'm going to go back the other way. Now I've just loosened up all the gunk that I couldn't get to with the wire brush that was in that, in fact no, the whole, I say it's turning, I think the whole shock might be turning. I don't know, I want to go and get a bit of WD-40 on that just to give it a little bit of a free up. I might need a blowtorch, I don't know. Alright, I brought the blowtorch out just in case. Give that a little wash out with the threads. Hopefully any gunk that was in there that's now been dislodged will blow out with that. I've not had these front ones off before, I've had the back ones off before, so I knew they would be alright, which is why I did them first. Yeah, it's the whole lot's turning and it's just tightening down that bottom nut. Okay. And now it's tightened down that bottom nut to as far as it will go. I wonder whether I can get that to undo now then. Yeah, it's going. Putting quite a lot of effort into it, but it's going. Oh God. Have a little spray of WD. Get it in the thread. In the thread. The tricky part's going to come when I have to go undo the bottom nut and the whole shock starts spinning again. At the moment I've got something to hold on to. God, that is tough. Do a bit of a workout this, I tell you. God. was hard going, that was. Couldn't get an impact in there to do it, even I don't think it would have done it because it's pretty tight. It's getting looser now. Now it's right at the end. At least with the new one, the threads will all be fresh and it should spin on a fair bit easier. There we go, that's one nut off. Now, how are we going to do that one? This is going to be the issue now, because you're supposed to be able to hold on to the top of this, but you know what'll happen, it'll just spin off. Yeah, the whole thing's turning. It's a shame I can't get the impact gun in there. God, I'm out of breath doing that. See, the impact gun would be great for that because it'd shock it off. There's just not enough height in there to get to it. Not sure what I'm going to do about this at the moment. Because it was loose, that bottom nut, which is why it tightened down to start with when I was doing the other one. But now I've obviously tightened against it. It's don't want to undo. Right, okay, I'm going to ponder this for a minute and see what I can do and how I can get it undone. I'll come back to you in a second. Right, I've managed to break it loose with a normal spanner and a hammer just to shock it free, same as what an impact gun would. So I'm hoping now I should be able to just wind this off without it turning, because I've already cleaned the threads up with the other nut and I've obviously put loads of WD-40 on it. It's starting to spin again, but I'm hoping now that I've got it kind of moving, if I can get some grips on the top of here, get my ratchet spanner on there first, otherwise I won't be able to get that back on. Get some grips on the top on the flat bit, yeah, it stops it spinning and it should hopefully undo fairly straightforward. That is, if you do it, no, I'm doing it the right way, it's alright, I thought I was doing it the wrong way for a minute. No, I'm doing it the right way, it's good. Problem now is it's starting to twist in the grips. Do the grips up a bit tighter, see if that helps. Yep, there we go. I think we're all right. I think it's coming undone. Lovely. Thought that was going to fight me for a little minute, but a couple of shocks with a hammer on a spanner effectively acts like an impact gun would, and away it went. There we go, right to the top now. I can do it by fingers. Lovely. A bush there you've got to take out. Now this shock absorber is, because I've got the jack's not really doing a lot, but this is under no tension at all, this shock absorber. It's really all nice and free and easy to winkle out, so that's really good. Right, there's our top bush and washer off. Now if I move you down to the bottom, to there on the lower arm, I might be able to get the impact gun on them, and hopefully they'll just come off because they're only small bolts. Now when I had this MOT'd, this is what the MOT man said we'd play in it. He said it wasn't excessive, but it was getting worse. And I have had a clonk from the front for a little while, so I'm hoping this is what it is. Am I in reverse? Yeah. Oh, look at that, lovely. Come on, done. How about that? Right, this one out. The other one. Hopefully this will make the shock just drop out. Yep, there we go. Now, have I got enough height to get it out? This is going to be the next problem. Oh no, it's alright. Got enough room there. Right, there we go. Look at that. That is absolutely knackered. That is what my front knock has been all this time. And these front ones are the same make as the back ones I've just put on. So I wonder whether these have been changed before. or whether that's how they come. They're exactly the same sticker, made in Turkey, exactly the same. So let's go and grab the new one and get it fitted. Right, here is our new one. Part number is 7000200 on the box. And as you can see when I take it out, it is identical to the old one. So that is really, really good. I'm well chuffed about that, and you can see the difference in the bushes in the bottoms. My one compared to the, you can see light through my one, and that one is nice and tight and solid and glued to it like it should be. So that was definitely what a rattle was. So that's really, really good. I'm well chuffed about that. The MOT man has not done me wrong there, so that's really, really good. So basically it's just a reverse of what I've just done. Same as the back really. You get 2 new lock nuts on this new shock, so that's good. Actually take those off to start with. Now top bush off. They've got like a little step in those bushes which fit through the metal of the top arm, if that makes sense, and the bottom of in the bottom of it as well. Like up here, it fits through this hole on the top, so that it locates it nicely, which obviously stops it from vibrating side to side when it's in the cab. You know, I want to make sure that's nice and clean before I go anywhere near that. Well, I say nice and clean, relatively clean, because there's a little robin underneath the cab. That's my granddad come to say hello. He's a robin. Look, yeah, look under there. Look. You see him? There he is. He's always buzzing about. Hello, mate. He's great. He's always buzzing around. He's not very scared of people either, which is really good. I mean, obviously you can't get mega close, but... Right. Let us continue with my little robin friend there next to me. I'm going to slot this in from the bottom, same way as we came out. Like that. And what I'll do, I'll get the top out and the one nut just on there gently to hold it up in the air, and then I can get the bottom located and put on. I'm going to have to make it a little bit, extend it a little bit because it won't fit right through. We have to get to the top of it. Just pull it out a little bit. Should stay there, hopefully. Little robin's still there, sitting there watching me. Brilliant. The only problem with extending it is I can't get it in the damn hole now, so I'm going to have to push it back again and then pull it out when it's in there. Right, try and pull it out now it's in there. It's going to be tricky, but I'll try. Can't do it. Not enough strength. Just about to see the... He's right underneath the cab now, that little robin. Just about to see the top of it. I'm going to do this. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my grips. Just nip the top of it where I gripped it before. I might be able to just lever it up. Yeah, here we go. That's it. A little bit more. So I've got enough height to get the washer and the rubber on there as well. Clean the threads where it's just pulled a load of gunk through. What I'm going to do for now is just get a nut on that so it doesn't fall through, and I'm going to get the bottom bolted up so then I haven't got to support the bottom while I'm trying to sort the top out. That makes sense in my head anyway. Right, I'm doing this in real time so you can see how it goes. Right, so we go with our little 13 mils again, go back into the lower arm. Not very big really those for what they are, but there we go, is what it is. Get them started off, and then it'll pull the... In fact, what I might do, because the lower arm is sitting at an angle and this is now sitting flat, I might jack it up just so that it's at the right angle when I do them up, just so that it aids it and doesn't pull the rubber how it shouldn't, if that makes sense. So let's give that a couple of little pumps on the jack. Not too much because I don't want to take it off the ground. So now you can see, if you look there, hopefully you can see that the bracket is at the same, so almost the same angle as the lower arm, whereas before the lower arm was really diagonal and the bracket wasn't, if that makes sense. I know what I mean. Right. I'm sure you know what I mean too. Right. Mr. Robin again. Mate, you're not going to like this. This is loud, this bit. Don't want to scare him off. Right, that's one side in. The other side in. Now I will check those with a bar in a minute, because obviously I don't want to just rely on the impact gun, but hopefully they'll be okay. They're in there nice and tight. Now we can work on getting the top sorted out without having to worry about the bottom falling out, if that makes sense. Right. So obviously we've got that poking through the top there now, as you can see. Want to make sure that that rubber is in the centre of that hole, as I said before. So when you do it up, it's doing what it should be doing. At the moment, you can see that's not central in the hole. So I need to make that so that it is. Just sort of jiggle it around a little bit. I'm trying to do this whilst holding the camera. It's quite tricky. And the light falls over. Come on, light. Alright. So you can see what I mean. It's kind of have to just pull up on it a little bit, and then it self-centres, you see, because it's in that little step of the rubber. And it can't go anywhere then. That's solid now. Right, so now that's like that, I can get the other one of these with a little step on it. And put that in there. Make sure that you don't knock it out the centre. Might give it a little twist. It should just seat itself in there nice. Hopefully. Like that. And then we can get our big flat washer on there. And we've got our two new nuts to go on. Now obviously you have to do up the first one to be able to get the second one on, because it needs to take up the slack of all the rubber and everything else. So I'm going to get that one tightened down and then I'll come back to you. Right, as you can see there now, I've got my nut tightened right the way down. I used the grips on the top to grip it and then tightened it up as much as I possibly could with a ratchet spanner. So now I can spin this one on like that, and then we lock them together. So we'll get a... He's still buzzing around, that Robin. He's walking right close to me. So now we'll get the... Sorry, I keep going about the Robin, but I think it's really cool. Open-ended spanner on the bottom, ratchet spanner on the top, and just tighten them together. It's as simple as that. There we go. And that is our front shock absorber, apart from me just checking those two bottom bolts with a bar. I can't get that any tighter than that. Maybe I can. Right, is it really sad that I'd like those two nuts to line up? I can't get any tighter than that. That is as tight as I can get it. Anyway, they're pretty much lined up. There we go, one front shock absorber replaced. How good is that? So that is a lot easier than a lot of cars. You haven't got to take the spring off or anything else. It's just a case of 3 bolts effectively on the front. Right, let's get me long bar on those front two. Where have I put it? Right, I'm going to go and find my long bar because I know what I've done with it. I'm going to check these 2 bolts on the bottom here and then we'll crack on, get the other side done. Right, I wasn't very happy with these washers that were on the bottom of these nuts. They were all chewed up and too small for my liking. They didn't bridge the gap. I'll show you on the old shock absorber. They didn't bridge this gap very well. They're only just big enough and they was sinking into the middle of the bracket when you did them up, so I wasn't very happy with that. So I've actually upgraded it and I've put some nice stainless steel washers on there that are a little bit bigger. They overhang the bracket slightly, but I'd much rather them be like that because it gives it a lot more support right across the bracket and hopefully should keep it all good. So I've done that. They're tightened up with a bar, lovely and tight. Obviously you already saw me do the top. So now I'm going to get round to the other side, do exactly the same that side. There we go, there is our last shock absorber in, all nice and tight, lovely jubbly. Top nut done, new washers on the bottom again, stainless steel ones so they won't rust. And as you can see, if I show you the bottom of this old shock again, the bottom bush on it is completely had it no good. The bonded part of it is not bonded anymore, same as the other side. So yeah, same make again, so it is original. So there we go, that is all 4 shock absorbers replaced. But I have just noticed I've got some coolant dripping underneath the cab now, so I'm going to have a little look at that and see what's going on there. Right then, that is another job ticked off the list. All 4 shock absorbers have now been changed on the old cab, and for once in my life it was a fairly easy job, which I'm well chuffed about because I need to go to work in a minute and I didn't want to be out here until it was dark. So that is absolutely mega. Hopefully that will get rid of my rattle from the front and a little rattle from the back. They're all new and it should hopefully help with a little bit of the crashiness over bumps because it was getting a little bit harsh over bumps. So fingers crossed it's all sorted out. Now the bushes at the back that I checked are all tight still, so that's great. And the leak from the front, it looks like it's coming from the oil cooler again, which I've had changed once already. Bentley going past. It looks like it's coming from that oil cooler again. There's 2 Torx bolts on the front of it, which I've nipped up. I'm hoping that's going to solve the issue, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and see. I've put some brake cleaner all over it to clean it all up and dried it so that I can see exactly where it's coming from in the near future when I get under there and have another look again. So hopefully that's sorted out. If it hasn't, then obviously we'll have to revisit that in due course, you know. But for now, hopefully the cab is going to carry on going and it'll be all absolutely marvellous. So if you do like videos like this, make sure you do 4 things for me. Like, subscribe, share and hit the notification bell. It's all free, it costs you absolutely nothing. Big truck going past and it really helps me out on the channel. I really do appreciate it. So if you could do those things for me, that would be absolutely superb. Remember, I've got Instagram, MEC_TEC1985, and I've got Facebook, MEC-TEC, for little sneak peeks during the week of what I'm up to. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and if you want to join me soon for more automotive adventures, I will see you again very, very soon. Cheers, guys.